Welcome back. So the Umkhonto weSizwe party is experiencing a wave of internal challenges, with key MPs facing arrest and explosive factional battles over leadership roles. The party has condemned the arrest of MPs Brian Molefe as well as Siyabonga Gama as a politically motivated witch hunt within Parliament. The spokesperson, Nhlamulo Ndhlela, denies being formally removed from the whippery team, even as letters circulate claiming otherwise, and calls grow to oust the Chief Whip Colleen Makhubele. These events come on the heels of the Secretary-General, Floyd Shivambu's public moves towards forming a new political party, underscoring a deeper fractures within the MK. But what is the current state of the party? And joining me now for more on this is the former MK national organiser, McDonald Mathabe. And just to be clear, that we did invite the MK party to be part of this conversation. However, they weren't able to avail somebody for us to join us this morning, but they have a press briefing a bit later on with the Deputy President of the MK party as well as the Chief Whip Colleen Makhubele and Dr. John Hlophe. But McDonald, we have you in studio. Of course, are you still a member of the MK party? What's the status now?
I've left MK party.
So you've left the MK party completely.
Yes.
Okay. What's your assessment around what is currently playing out in the party, considering the warnings that you had given even before you had resigned?
An organization that does not have elected structures, people given a responsibility for a certain time, by the membership, you'll always find these kind of problems. There is no way that you can run an organization like MK Party, just from the top by a few people. President Zuma is the alpha and the omega. President Zuma cannot take decisions for every corner of this country. He cannot take decisions for people sitting in Migdol, in Northwest. He cannot do the same for people sitting in all days in Limpopo. What needs to happen is that the organization needs to have branches, people elected from the branches, from the regions, from the provinces, and then a national elective conference. All of those things combined together, they bring order to an organization. So right now, it's everybody doing whatever they want, and that is unorganizational. And these kinds of behaviors, they are basically a swearing or a disrespect to the people that voted for MK Party. I have never seen such disaster in my whole life. Even the ANC was not like this. In the ANC, a member had the right. In MK Party, a member does not have a right. President Zuma and this so-called constitution that they have developed, they've taken the right of the member from participating in the organization and taking decisions.
But was that always the plan, that the president of the MK party would almost be the supreme leader of the party, meaning that he takes all of the decisions, including, for instance, the decisions relating to deployment to national office?
I guess we are Altrin. Firstly, President Zuma, I refer to him as President Zuma because he was president of the ANC and president of the country. He is not president of MK Party. MK Party has not gone to a national elective conference and elect a president. So he is merely a party administrative leader linking MK Party to the IEC. Until MK Party goes to National Elective Conference, then MK Party will have its first elected president.
Well, maybe you say that he's an interim president. I don't know. I think those are a bit semantics. But I want to speak about the powers of the president, or the powers of whoever is right at the helm of the MK Party.
The powers of MK, the MK Party, when it goes to National Elective Conference, it will then give the responsibilities according to the constitution that was submitted to the IEC. What the constitution that is sitting at IEC is a copy of the constitution of the ANC. They are the same. There's nothing different from it because it was used for administrative purposes. We had agreed before we even launched the party, that within 9 months, MK Party will go to a national elective conference. So that it must be, the leadership must have legitimacy, must be in a position to take decisions, and that they should be in a position to lead the party.
Let's bring the conversation now to where we're currently at. This month marks a year since the MK Party has been declared as the official opposition of the country. Yes. From your observation, how do you think the party has fared in that role as the official opposition of the country?
We undertook the formation of MK Party so that we correct the mistakes that are made by the ANC. And we had agreed that once we achieve that, sitting down with the ANC and working together, at some point MK Party will dissolve and that all of us will go there. That is why President Zuma is fighting for his membership while he's still within MK Party. That was the original agreement. Ukuthi masilungise ikhaya lethu la siphuma khona, because processes and systems inside have been arrested. So we create a platform outside, but with the intention of going back. That is why we're encouraging members of MK Party to continue to pay their membership fee to the ANC while their membership of ANC. That is where the dual membership was all about. But President Zuma, when the ANC, after the elections, because we did achieve that, made the call to President Zuma that let's sit down, let's talk, so that we can govern the country together, so that we can find ways of finding one another, and eventually at some point, looking at a way in which we can go back into the ANC. President Zuma denied, refused. And you now have this situation where the ANC is now in a GNU, with unfavorable characters into that. Now, the hatred of President Zuma, of President Cyril Ramaphosa, is poisonous. It's so bad that it has become personal. It has become childish. And that these are some of the things that myself, as the national organizer at that time, alongside with Tandukolo Gobashev Joto, the Secretary General of MKP at that time, we were cautioning him on those matters, and he did not take kindly onto that. Because we need to be honest and to say the matters that are here at hand, they are bigger than President Zuma's personal hatred over President Zuma, over President Cyril Ramaphosa. Yeah. We must put the country and its people first. Unfortunately, that did not happen.
So I want to go back to the question, though, about how the MK Party has fared in its role as the opposition of the country. What's your assessment around it?
It's not even an opposition. You can't call that an opposition. There is bickering, fighting every day. They fail to participate in matters of seriousness in Parliament. In fact, the EFF is doing far much better than them, although they fared in the national elections lower than them. In fact, the EFF has much more substance in Parliament than MK. The reason for that is because the people that are representing a MK Party in national Parliament, they were not even in the original list of the people that were
submitted to the
that
IEC.
were submitted to the IEC. What you find there is girlfriends, on a serious note, of President Zuma, is girlfriends of people, is children of people, abashana bagababa, and it's a disaster in there.
So actually, now that you mentioned this issue, Eugene Nhlamulo, who's going to be joining us after the short break, he is the now former Umkhanyakude district coordinator. He has resigned from the party as well. In his letter, he makes this issue around family. It feels like it's a family and friends business. Was that your sense as well when just before you left the party? What is it that you picked up with regards to this particular allegation about the friends and family? It's almost like a friends and family business.
Not like it's like, it is. It's a family enterprise, MK Party. It's no longer about the people. His brothers are in there. Ngenkulu inhlonipho
Ubani ubhuti wakhe?
Zuma is in the provincial legislature in KZN.
Yeah.
His daughter Amahle
Yeah.
is in the provincial legislature in KZN. Umshana wakhe uTalente is in the national parliament. Indodakazi yakhe uDuduzile Zuma is in the national parliament. And so the list goes on and on and on. These are things that are basically a slap to the voters of MK Party supporters and the people that worked very hard to ensure that they built their hype and around the country to make sure that the people vote for MK. It's unfortunate that the direction that they take. My problem, Aldrin, is this. Omdala umkhuza kanjani without being disrespectful. Some of us were not going to stoop low as Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu Stugu Baba in political platforms. Ngisambiza ngobaba ngoba empeleni ubaba uPresident Zuma is a father to me. I looked up to him. I was there with him when no one was there. I used to go with President Zuma to courts without anyone being there. I was not doing that because I needed fame. I was doing that because I believed that umntomdala maseka fike to this age, you need to allow umntomdala ukuthi retire kahle. Kungabikho izinto ezimbi ezimlandelayo. But wenzani makumntomdala enza ukukhohlakala kuwe nesizwe sonke. Awukwazi ukumthuka umntomdala. Ngendlela esikhulise ngayo thina esakhuliseka saboniswa ukuthi umuntu omdala noma enza ukukhohlakala ufuna indlela yokuthi ungakhuluma naye.
So the argument would be that the leader of the MK party is actually central to the problems of the MK party.
Injalo.
Okay, just quickly in conclusion, Mayibuye, what's your take on it?
Let me say, Floyd Shivambu, ebengekho masiqala MK party. In fact, he was one of those that were against it. And he knows that because myself, I sat with him in several meetings before MK was launched in trying to get them to join MK party. But instead, they said to us, Tina, we're already 10 years. We already have liabilities and all of this. Rather, you join us. And we said, the society is rejecting you because nina nazifakela isichitho. Ngalenza khathi nize nithuka ubaba uNcamalala. Nize nenza ifanekiso ngaye angagcokanga. Athume endaweni ayo addressa nithathe ingane ezincane ezingazi lutho ngezocansi. Nenze ama billboard. Nibaphathisa abantwana nithi baba President Zuma you are a rapist. What happened to Gwazi and all of that? We will ngokwenza lokho. They did not know that they were decampaigning themselves to the society. That is why EFF, until today, it's failing because umntomdala, you must have an approach.
I'm so sorry, McDonald.
Yes.
I need to get to this point. Mayibuye.
Yes.
What's your take on Mayibuye?
What is Mayibuye? They say it's a consultative what, and all of this. But the real fact is that it's already a political party. So Floyd is continuing to lie to South Africans.
Okay.
Yes. Mayibuye, I want to make this to Floyd. Floyd found uthole MK ivuta ishisa, standing on its own. He did not campaign for MK party. And he must not claim victories of other people. And he came with nothing to MK party. And njengoba ehamba, he has no sentiments. He has no respect. That utata insize zasekhaya azibekele to the public. That is why Tina noma sasihamba ngoba we were part and parcel of the formation of MK party. Bekungeke sisiphathiso okwengane ezingananhlonipho.